June 19, 1944. 5 hours. The vast expanse of the Philippine Sea, where the horizon bleeds into endless blue. Salt spray whips across the flight deck of the Japanese carrier Zuikaku as pilots scramble to their cockpits. Engines roar to life, a symphony of fury under the first hints of dawn. You can almost feel the vibration through the steel, the acrid bite of exhaust mixing with the ocean's brine. Lieutenant Saburo Sakai, veteran ace with scars from a dozen dogfights, straps into his Mitsubishi A6M Zero, sleek, agile, a predator born for the turn and burn. He glances at his wingmen, smirks through the canopy. "Those American fat cats," he mutters over the radio, voice crackling with disdain. "The Hellcat? It's a lumbering beast, no match for our Zeros." Below, waves crash against the hull as the task force steams toward the enemy. Intelligence whispers of new U.S. fighters, but the Imperial Navy's elite dismiss them. The Zero has ruled the Pacific skies since Pearl Harbor, lightning-fast climbs, razor-sharp maneuvers. Why fear this Grumman F6F Hellcat, bloated with armor and guns? It's a joke among the squadrons, a punchline shared over sake in the ready rooms. As catapult hooks engage and Zeros hurl into the air, formations tighten like fists. The sun crests, painting the sea gold. But in the distance, radar pings echo. American carriers, their decks alive with shadows that promise reckoning. The air thickens with anticipation. What if the laughter fades? The radio crackles alive. "Bandits inbound, Angels 25, bearing 090. Voices sharpen. American Hellcats rise in disciplined waves from Task Force 58. Enterprise, Lexington, Hornet, dark silhouettes against the morning glare. You feel the G-forces as pilots pull back on sticks, engines howling Pratt & Whitney R2800 double wasps, each churning 2,000 horsepower. Saburo Sakai banks left, eyes narrowing through the gun sight. There they are, stubby-nosed, thick-winged, painted in that dull navy blue. The Hellcats don't dance like Zeros, they lumber, heavy with self-sealing tanks and bulletproof glass. "Easy meat," Sakai laughs into the mic. His flight dives, engines screaming, aiming to slash through the escorts and reach the bombers. But something's wrong. The Hellcats don't scatter. They turn into the attack, wings level, 6.50 caliber Brownings per plane, spitting fire in long, controlled bursts. Tracers stitch the sky. A Zero ahead erupts. Flames lick the cockpit, pilot clawing at the canopy before the wing folds. Sakai twists hard, Zero's legendary roll carrying him clear, but the American stays glued to his tail. No frantic zoom climb saves him. The Hellcat's raw power drags it upward, matching turn for turn despite the weight. Bullets hammer Sakai's fuselage. Aluminum shreds. He smells cordite, feels the jolt as rounds punch through the light frame. His Zero bleeds speed. The Hellcat pilot, calm, methodical, fires again. Glass shatters behind Sakai's head, blood on the panel. He rolls inverted, dives for the deck, praying the American can't follow. But it does. The laughter dies in his throat. Below, more Zeros burn, bright orange flowers blooming across the sea. What was supposed to be a slaughter has become a massacre in reverse. 5:30 a.m. The Philippine Sea becomes a cauldron of fire and smoke. Altitude drops to wave-top level. Hellcats and Zeros weave through pillars of black oil rising from sinking destroyers. You taste the salt and gasoline on the wind, hear the relentless chatter of machine guns over the roar of engines. Saburo Sakai levels out, blood streaming from a gash above his eye, Zero's controls sluggish from severed hydraulics. He glances at his six, 2 more Hellcats locked on, their radial engines growling like angry beasts.
No elegant loops or hammerheads will save him now. The American fighters don't need finesse. They have mass, momentum, and armor that shrugs off 7.7mm rounds like rain. He jinks hard right. Tracers flash past his canopy. A burst catches the Zero's wing root. Fabric peels away in flaming strips. The plane shudders, nose dipping. Sakai yanks the stick, forcing a desperate climb. For a heartbeat, the Hellcat behind him hesitates. Perhaps the pilot sees the smoking wreck and assumes the kill. Mistake. Sakai rolls inverted, drops like a stone toward the sea. The pursuing Hellcat overshoots, exposed for a split second. Sakai snaps upright, guns blazing. .50 caliber rounds rake the American's belly. Fuel pours out in glittering spray, ignites. The Hellcat becomes a comet, trailing fire into the ocean below. But victory is fleeting. Around him, the formation disintegrates. Veteran squadron leaders, men who survived Guadalcanal, Rabaul, Santa Cruz, fall one by one. Lieutenant Commander Tetsuzo Iwamoto, another legend, spirals down in flames after a head-on pass with a Hellcat that refuses to break. Zeros, once untouchable, are shredded by concentrated fire from multiple angles. The Hellcat's 6 Brownings deliver a wall of lead no light fighter can dance through forever. Radio calls turn frantic. "Break! Break! They're too heavy! Too fast!" Voices crack with disbelief. The once mocking laughter is gone, replaced by raw panic. The sky, so vast and empty moments ago, now feels like a killing ground. And still more Hellcats climb from the carriers below, fresh and hungry.
0600 hours. The Philippine Sea churns below, dotted with wreckage, twisted metal, oil slicks, bodies bobbing in the swells. You sense the exhaustion in every pilot's grip on the stick, the metallic tang of fear sweat mixing with avgas fumes. Saburo Sakai nurses his crippled Zero back toward Zuikaku, engine sputtering, vision blurring from blood loss. He keys the radio. "Command, the Hellcats, they're unbreakable. Armor like tanks in the sky." Static hisses back. No orders, just chaos. The Imperial Navy's first wave, over 400 planes, has been gutted. Hellcats from VF-16 on Lexington, VF-2 on Hornet, circle like sharks, picking off stragglers with merciless efficiency. One by one, aces vanish. Petty Officer Hiroyoshi Nishizawa, the Devil of Rabaul with 87 kills, commits to a final kamikaze dive on a Hellcat, only to be shredded mid-turn by converging fire from 3 Americans. Their F6Fs absorb hits that would doom a Zero. Self-sealing tanks plug leaks, armored cockpits shield pilots. Japanese 20mm cannons glance off. American 50 cal punch clean through fragile aluminum and wood. Formations shatter. Survivors flee low over the waves. Hellcats in pursuit, guns thundering. Carriers loom. Taiho, Shokaku, under torpedo attack from U.S. submarines and dive bombers slipped through the breached fighter screen. Explosions rock the horizon. Taiho's hangar detonates in a fireball, avgas igniting like a volcano. Pilots watch in horror from above, realizing the mockery was folly. The Hellcat isn't sluggish, it's a fortress with fangs, out-climbing, out-gunning, outlasting. The death knell tolls. How many more legends will fall before the sun sets? 0700 hours. The Philippine Sea smolders, a graveyard of ambition. Carriers list and burn. Shokaku takes a fatal torpedo from submarine Kavala, her decks erupting in secondary explosions that hurl planes overboard like discarded toys.
You hear the distant thunder of anti-aircraft fire fading, the sea claiming its toll in silent waves. Saburo Sakai touches down on Zuikaku's pitching deck, Zero grinding to a halt amid frantic deck crews. Medics pull him from the cockpit, his face a mask of blood and ash. He collapses, whispering to the flight officer, "The Hellcats, they're demons. We mocked them, but they endure everything." Around him, survivors trickle in, ghosts of the proud squadrons. Over 300 Zeros lost in hours, the Marianas Turkey Shoot, they call it later. Elite pilots like Warrant Officer Sadamu Komachi eject over open water, bobbing in rafts as Hellcats strafe the remnants. The reversal is absolute. No more derision in the ready rooms, only hollow eyes and unspoken terror. The F6F Hellcat, once a punchline, has swept the skies clean, its armor plating, folding wings for carrier ops, and sheer numbers from Grumman factories overwhelming the fragile Zeros. Japan's air arm crumbles, irreplaceable aces gone, training pipelines starved. The Pacific shifts irrevocably. Allied bombers roam free. Islands fall like dominoes toward Tokyo. From arrogance to ashes, the laughter echoes no more. The war's tide turns in flame-streaked skies.